The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast. Triple Bypass heads back to Newton, Iowa for another race here on the fun 7/8 mile short track. Deemed as the fastest short track on the planet, just shy of 1 mile, the Iowa Speedway underwent a modest repave, which has created a very interesting set of corners, which will provide some interesting racing. How will these ARCA drivers handle the racetrack tonight? Well, you got to stay tuned, and we'll answer all those questions for you. Welcome everyone to PTR TV. Today's coverage of the Triple Bypass ARCA series. We are at the Iowa Speedway, as I've let you know, for the Cultured Designs 135. That will be the event on offer here today. Gonna be myself, Corey Silva, in the booth and in the production truck. Got Patrick Ruckus-Coleman here to help out with the calls. Do want to preface the fans, I am on a fresh install of Windows 11 and I had to start every single file from scratch. So how I pulled this off in 24 hours, gotta really thank Brad for pulling me out there with all the backup files. But Patrick, Iowa Speedway 7/8 mile. It doesn't know if it wants to be a short track or a speedway. A very interesting little hybrid here we have.
Indeed, Corey. And this track has been used for some lower NASCAR tiers as well as IndyCar last season. And interestingly enough, this is an oval track that has a combined total of 3 separate ovals. Connected to the Iowa Speedway, there is a 5th mile oval and a 3rd mile oval. So 3 ovals. We're obviously using the road course, or the oval course, that is just short of a mile, 0.875 miles here for 135 laps. I'm pretty sure the only thing that Iowa loves more than its world famous corn is oval racing, apparently.
Yep, we have the Legends track, and then there's the Mini Legends track, all of which were available on iRacing. I don't know if in the new update those carried over, but today's race, we do want to give the shout out, as we do to all participants here who help out with the series, and today's race sponsor, as is essentially the series sponsor for that matter. That is going to be Terry Brooks here with Cultured Designs. Again, want to give him the shout out for that sponsorship. And then just to give you a little privy to the point standings right now, Alan Kunman is our points leader by 4. We got a tie for second with Adam Bossy and then Brad Kress, Merritt, Winstead, and you can see pretty tight point standings there as we are 4 races complete here in our season. But that countdown timer is going off right now, so we will head down trackside, give you that PTR TV starting lineup in just a minute. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in here to the channel. If it's your first time, don't make it your last. Hit that like and subscribe button here, as we have very quickly put ourselves in some nighttime conditions here in Newton, Iowa. But let's head down trackside and let you know where they are starting here today. On the front row is going to be our race sponsor himself, Mr. Terry Brooks. He's going to lead this thing through with Adam Bossy in second. Rounding out the third position will be Brad Kress, and then Caden Honeycutt in fourth. We got Justin Baxter out of Blackstone. Actually, yeah, I guess Blackstone. I thought it was a glitch, but no, they're both from Blackstone, Virginia. We got Dylan Freeman in seventh, Matt Harmon in eighth, Mark Jarrell, and then Mark Herzog, row of the marks, in row number 5.
And now jumping into row 6, we have Jason R. Benson Going ahead and taking P11, followed by Al Corey in P12. Going down, it is Caleb Brown and Nicholas Deal taking out row number 7. And then we head down to row number 8. And then we got Adam Shaws and Zachary Nerney, a familiar name to those of you on the PTR TV channel. As we go to the next row, it is Donna Ristow and Jack Plyler taking out row number 9. And then row number 10. Tyler Rulis and then Matthew Epting going ahead and rounding out our top 20.
And a couple drivers straggling down. We got Brian Cooper. It must be a home track. Well, it is a home track race for him. The Corn guy, Corns with a C, in 21st. John Creeler in 22nd. Cameron Kane in 23rd. We got Mick Crutch. We got Naj there in 24th. And then shotgun on the field is going to be Nathan Hemperly in 25th positioning. And they were practicing in the daytime, racing at night, which that is always a race driver's favorite thing there, Patrick, because you know, you practice under one conditions, the track cools down, the track does different things, and that's what you're going to be racing under. So we'll be interested to see how the variants may play out.
Indeed, and it's interesting to see some of these drivers who some of our viewers may be familiar with if they check in on Wednesday nights, in particular Nathan Hepperly and Zachary Nerney, both multi-class racers as well, so it'll be interesting to see how they adapt to a massive change of pace. They kind of lose the ability to turn left here at these oval tracks, so it'll be interesting to see how they handle the Iowa Speedway here tonight.
Yeah, but of course this version of Iowa still relatively new to the drivers. It's only been out for about a build with this new semi-pavement that we got going on. 135 laps, no stage, one set of tires, one backup car, full fuel load. I think we were, Al told me about maybe 20 minutes ago, and I already forgot what he said, but I want to say it was around 80-something laps, so they will need some more fuel at some point, and only one set of tires, which will be interesting. But the biggest thing here at Iowa, as you saw there in the corners, is that new pavement. Again, the rumor is they ran out of time to get the aggregate they needed to repave the whole place, so they repaved it in priority sections. So these drivers are going to have to stay in that grip strip. If you get to the outside, you lose everything instantly.
It'll be interesting because you have these mixing track surfaces that could really throw drivers through a loop if they're not prepared for it. But a lot of these drivers have practiced here in these mixed conditions, so it'll be interesting to see how these drivers get going as we're about to go ahead and kick off tonight's race here.
Absolutely. The Cultured Designs 135, led by no other than the Cultured Designs Chevrolet. The pace car pulls on in. Terry Brooks going to get today's race underway. The green flag in the air from Barney. Let's go racing in the cornfields, and let's see what happens through the bumps into turn number 1.
As they make their way through turn number 1, everything is going very smoothly so far. No major incidents here through the first couple of corners, so good stuff here from these drivers. I mean, the driver of that Culture Design Chevrolet, Terry Brooks, I mean, getting pole position in the race you sponsored is got to be a fantastic feeling, but getting that one good qualifying lap in compared to holding it off for 135 is going to be a bit of a tricky challenge. As we see Adam Bossy and Brad Kress going side by side, going through the corner, and we'll see if that Flow Sport Mustang is going to have the flow like it did last week in Bristol.
Now we'll see indeed what happens here at Iowa, the short run speed versus the long run speed, which is much more important here in these races with only one set of tires, because you'll really have to make that perfect pit stop, make that perfect decision as to when you're going to come in. How early do you want to push? Do you want to save some for later? Very, very stressful situations as these drivers have to navigate a very minute amount of tires. But Crest to the inside, 76 to the outside. Again, a little bit more banking in the middle here, Patrick. This is a progressively banked racetrack, so you have more to play with in the middle, and that sometimes makes the passes difficult on the inside.
Especially if your opponent is on that recently paved section compared to the more tricky outer layers that isn't paved yet. It'd be a bit of a different story if it was all paved, but like you said, they went for those priority sectors to get them paved. So you would think that these sections are going to be the sectors you want to be on to try to get a pass, as we see a lot of battling going on here throughout the circuit about a pass.
Sorry to cut you off there, Patrick. I am undergoing a little bit of issues with the timing software right now, so just bear with me again. Underwent a lot to get formulated back here, so a little bit of issues to be had, but we'll hopefully be able to sort through that. As who is that ahead there on the racetrack? 58 Justin Baxter. Yeah, I'm just trying to work through these, folks. This is not ideal right now. My timing software is not working right now, so we're just doing the best we can.
We'll still do our best to bring you all the exciting action here at Triple Bypass Racing here, brought to you by Primetime Racing TV. We're going to go ahead and do everything we can, just like we do see the number 23 doing everything he can to try to go ahead and get a pass on the car up ahead. And now we're seeing a three-way fight for first place here at the moment. Terry Brooks now under a good amount of pressure from those two cars behind. It's going to be tricky to get the pass done, but if Bristol was anything to go by, the number 76 and the number 56 have to go ahead and just work together, and they'll just have to get it through the process of attrition. But it looks like actually the number 58 is going to try to get a move done onto the 76. He's got the inside line. Is it going to stick? It doesn't look like it's going to just yet, as Justin Baxter once again tucks in right behind James Honeycutt.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see who is pushing too hard right now, who is perhaps, ready for the end of the run. We go back to the fourth spot here. I got camera control back at least, so we have something to work with. But we have Bossy there back and forth, and Brad Kress in fifth. And then you head back to Matt Harmon, Dylan Freeman, the very, very pink car, along with Alan Kuhnman, our points leader. This is where you find the 2x2 racing. This is where you find the hornet's nest, so to speak.
Indeed. You're going to see a lot of these cars just so tightly packed together as we go three wide very temporarily, with Al Corey going ahead and trying to get moves done. He's got the pass on to Dylan Freeman, done and dusted, and Alan Kuhnman, so he is up into seventh now. A pretty good run here from the 45 Chevrolet as he continues, but he does have a certain driver by the name of Dylan Freeman just right up the inside there at the 31, but he'll tuck right back in yet again and give it the old call on the next corner.
Dylan was a little disappointed that we have stopped doing the Avril jokes, at least as much, but I ran out of them, and I don't like to repeat too much, but Dylan Freeman looking to the outside, perhaps, of Al Corey there. And looks like timing, hopefully, is back up and sorted. Looks to be, so hopefully I'm able to do a little back-end recon while I'm doing everything here. So we're back to normal, but look at there, Donald Bristow, entry of 3 and 4 there, and that number 25 car really, really high up the track, and now really high up the track into the wall. I was going to say he was out of that paved surface, and he is right now. He's into that old 2007 pavement. Maybe some marbles up there, put him in the fence.
Indeed. Sometimes the high line can be beneficial, but he's got to worry about metaphorically flying a bit too close to the sun and getting into that wall. So he's got to really be careful here, as he's going to continue to go ahead and try to get moves done and dusted. But once again, we jump back up here to the trio of Brad Kress, Matt Harmon, and Adam Bossy, all fighting for P4 at the moment on lap 16 out of 135.
Yep, 16 out of 135, and an interesting Terry Brooks still doing a great job up in the front of the pack. And let's just get a little inkling as to what the tire fall off has been thus far. After 17 laps, we are down about mathematics, what is that, 0.6 of a second. And again, no stages to interrupt us, so I would probably say, Patrick, I know Al Corey told us if no caution comes out, probably mid-80s you'll be pitting, but I would be thinking, is the safe route to kind of plan for halfway?
that's one way you can approach it. I mean, it just really depends on how your car feels when you hit that late stage. I mean, because sometimes getting the undercut can play out, but the one thing you don't want to do is, and once again, unless you have a time machine, you can't exactly predict when this is going to happen, but I mean, the worst case scenario is that you pit in, and then as soon as you come out of the pits, there's a crash, and then suddenly we have a full course caution. That could really throw strategies into the wall, as we see James Honeycutt getting actually really close to the wall there, as he is under pressure from Justin Baxter. Now the thing about these three is that they have just about a 2-second gap to Matt Harmon behind. So, I mean, this could really be a tricky one, but it just takes one mistake to really change the entire dynamic of the Culture Designs 135 here at Iowa Speedway.
And as you were saying, kind of predicting the caution, that's always the fear, is a race can be decided by drivers who do, I guess, so to speak, pick the time of the caution and just have that perfect luck. So, something that it's kind of risky to do is to not know when that caution could come out, but you know, you don't want to get caught multiple laps down, but obviously the tire deg is pretty big here, so staying out too long could also hurt you. So I'm glad that I am up here at the top, but Zach Nerney not at the top. He's at the bottom of the race trying to get by Benson in the 42, Epting in the 18 in the DeBears car, Chicago Bears number 18. He's trying to figure out what line is better. And I'm telling you, Patrick, I don't even know what line is better. As I said, more banking in the middle here at Iowa, but the shortest distance is the bottom. It's, you know, really seems to be a driver's choice.
Indeed, if I was in this race, I would honestly try to opt for staying on that freshly paved section as much as possible. But once again, that's not always available. So I think just in general, just trying to make sure you don't get too high, get into the wall. I think that's going to be the key. You got to stay within the slipstream of these cars here. As we see Justin Baxter still trying to go ahead and just run away from James Honeycutt here. As we see Terry Brooks is now under pressure from Justin Baxter in P2 right now. So two cars of a similar color scheme are going to go ahead and fight it out for P1. But once again, this top three certainly got pace, but they are losing time to Matt Harmon there in the back. So soon this could be even more than a three-way fight for the lead here.
Now, I'm getting some triggers here on my back-end telemetry here of some situations that may have happened that did not cause a caution flag. So we'll queue up our PTR TV replay for a brief moment. Tyler Ruelas there. That's a nice picture of a wall, but something apparently happened to... All right, well, perhaps my overlay software is... You know, I said it's going a little off here today, but it's saying that stuff happened to people, but there's a lot of people who are out of the race right now, so we'll go back to live footage. Maybe I could find something that happened, but we do have Jarrell, Reyes, Filer, Kane, and Deal all off the track right now, interestingly enough. So, or do we?
Well, I see quite a few cars now into the pit, so...
I'm not sure, again, if I have something going on my side. Again, there may be an iRacing setting that I missed, but I have drivers popping in and out of the world here. So let me just do one quick thing. We're just going to go to a little static B-roll screen here for a brief moment. I'm just going to make sure there's a certain setting. Oh, that's exactly what it is. iRacing default settings there, Patrick. I have essentially, I'm going to brag and say that I have a supercomputer, but iRacing tried to set the default graphics to me being basically having a potato. And if anybody knows the new iRacing, the UI, if you're not used to it, which nobody is, you're going to miss a setting. So nobody is off the track. Everybody is here. There was just a rogue setting there on my background. But that is all for naught. But Terry Brooks is pulling away by a little bit. Now that 0.2 of a second upwards of half a second. And Baxter starting to drop back. I'm starting to think his climb through the field Baxter had may have hurt those tires a little too much.
Yeah, I mean, it is very possible because we were talking earlier about the tire degradation being just super high here at this circuit. And so maybe he, like you said, he probably burned up a bit too much of those tires trying to chase down the leader of this race. I mean, management is such a crucial part about racing. When I was in about second grade, I told my teacher that racing does not involve any sort of math or any sort of, well, responsibility. And as I have matured now into a 22-year-old man, I have learned that that is extremely false. You're always thinking about mathematically, like, what lap do I want to pit in? How can I save my tires until I hit that benchmark? How can I go ahead and get this pass done? Do I have enough real estate? Is the question that Dylan Freeman may be thinking about right now as he goes around the outside of the number 57, trading positions here. They're both on that freshly paved section of this Iowa Oval. Oh, looks like he gets very close to the wall. He's not going to keep that position, and he might even lose some to Jason Benton and Zach Ernerney just behind.
Yeah, some good racing going on. Herzog to the inside, and you said Nerney back there. Nerney had a fabulous run on Sunday. The ending didn't go how he would have liked it or how it deserved, but he did a great job in the Cup Series race here on Sunday night. But these ARCA cars are a different can of fish, or kettle of fish, whatever the saying is. Less power, less grip ultimately with the shorter wheelbase, but do have a battle going on, and that battle is for the third spot. Baxter starting his comeback, his not comeback tour, his go to the back tour. Started with the second place being lost potentially. Thought Honeycutt had a chance at it, but has to fall back in line as Brooks almost out by a second here on lap 35. Caution free.
This has been a really intense race here so far, especially if you're James Honeycutt and Justin Baxter. These two have been going at it, and I mean, we're around who knows what at this point if we were going to equate this to a boxing match, because these two just keep trading blows consistently throughout the circuit. And now they're actually starting to pull away from P4 of Adam Bossy and that number 83 Twitch Mustang, who himself is still involved in that same three-way battle we saw him several laps ago alongside Matt Harmon and Brad Kress. They are all duking it out for P4 here, and we are 37 laps in.
And of course, remember, just 1 week ago at the Bristol Motor Speedway, Adam Bossy winning that race by about 2/100ths of a second in near photo finish fashion, had fresh tires, had, as we talked about, that perfectly timed caution, and that perfectly timed caution got him fresh tires, had enough laps, and won that race in dramatic fashion. Go back and watch that on our VOD streams if you are so interested. But yeah, he's trying to go back to back, has a little bit of work to do. Someone who else has work to do and had a good run last week as well is Caleb Brown in the Polaroid car. Alan Kunman, where did he start here today? I think he's picked off a few spots. Started in 6th, actually. I'll take that back. Total inverse. He's down 2 and potentially down more if Caleb gets what he wants out of it.
I mean, we know that Caleb Brown is a very quick car inside of that number 17. He can be very quick. We saw it in Bristol. He's got the speed. He's got the pace. He just needs to capitalize on it. On to another driver that we know is quick here at Triple Bypass Racing of Alan Kudman. We know that he's not going to give up the position easily in that Mobile 1 number 3. But once again, we know that Caleb, he knows when he can go ahead and take a shot. And I think he's going to try to send it up the inside here. Is he going to get that move done in the Polaroid Mustang? Not quite. Not enough real estate there.
Yeah, not quite. Again, that outside lane, and especially as the tires start to age, that outside lane is going to be a lot more valuable. That extra little bit of banking that it provides here. 18 on the bottom, 19 in the middle, 20 to the top. And the worst part, I guess, of this new situation we have here at Iowa is you're never going to use that 20 degrees of banking on the top because of the old pavement. And then if you think of it, Patrick, I mean, now this is kind of a little bit off topic of the race, but if they were to ever decide, all right, it's time to pave the top, as Kress and Harmon go at it, if they decide to pave the top, that's going to have more grip because it's going to be fresher, and then the bottom is useless. So it's like they really kind of shot themselves in the foot when they did this place.
Yeah, honestly, I'm sure it's going to be kind of annoying for the drivers as well, because, I mean, one of the things that I can speak from experience when it comes to circuit racing is when the track gets more and more rubbered in, there is an ideal line, and drivers just kind of like to lock into that line and just follow it. But here, with this type of track construction, or partial construction, you could say, that line seems to change over time, so it kind of throws drivers off who have gone into a rhythm, or in the case of Brad Kress here, he's gotten into the flow of things, but then that flow changes just because, like I said, the track evolution here is so peculiar compared to other tracks that we race on.
And the banking obviously is very important as well here on the ovals, but that banking, again, with that less there grip, that banking is useless. So you know, that's a talk for the big suits, none of which that we are. Side by side here, still with Bossy and Honeycutt, and up the track through turn 4, and Honeycutt has to rein it in there to evade contact. He does just that. Terry Brooks, his lead starting to shrink. Let's take a look here on the timer here, the last laps, and you can see that he was faster last time. Baxter, I don't know if he just had to, you know, just reset for a lap, or if he fell back, but he seems to be doing a lot better now. And last time by, essentially a draw, but 1/1000th goes to Baxter. So, and then look at Bossy, not too far back there in third on the stopwatch.
Yeah, Bossy's less than a tenth. He was less than a tenth slower on that previous lap, and I mean, it just shows you how even a lot of these drivers are on pace. I mean, literally a 1,000th of a second separating both Terry and Justin. Now, it's in the favor of Justin this time around. He went ahead and knocked off a few hundredths of a second. But Bossy is doing a lot of good work. He was about a full tenth of a second faster than both of these cars.
Yep, and in the 5, you got Brad Kress. So now we're at that pivotal point of who has that long haul speed. And, you know, if you've already used your stuff up at this point, you know, there's nothing left to be had. You've used it. So it's only going to get worse. And it looks as though Terry, now that lead down to 3/10, 2/10 even, he may have used whatever's left. It's going to have to go on pure defense. And then, as we said, do you want to make that halfway pit stop, or do you want to risk it and take it to the max fuel load? You'll lose time on the stopwatch and on the racetrack, but if a caution comes out, it's basically the automatic race-winning call.
Indeed, and it's always such a gamble with pit stops, especially at these shorter ovals, because, I mean, once again, it just takes one mistake. But speak of the devil, there is a mistake there. It's not enough to throw a caution, but the number 18 into the wall.
Now this is a long, long crash. Turn 4.
Out of the brakes, into the grass, into the pseudo cornfield.
Mind you, the new updated 3D grass, mind you. And then still loses it, still losing it. Still lost it.
And that's where we caught it.
Yeah, so the entire front straightaway was just at, and back to live pictures, and I think he may have hit the pit road attenuator. What? Yep. So, can you talk, I'll put worst laps in motorsports for 500, Alex.
I mean, honestly, I feel like that just kind of sums up the Chicago Bears NFL season so far. Although then again, I can't really talk much because I'm a Jags fan, and usually their season falls apart pretty quickly too. But still, that was a bit of a weird one.
I'm a Pats fan, so what do we have to bolster about ours? We had 2 decades of fun, and now we're back in the bank with the rest of them. But here's a good trio of activity. It is Kress, it is Harmon, it is Honeycutt. And then again, in the further back, Al Corey moving through the field. He's up to 7th. Where did that number 45 start on the evening? Up 5 for the number 45 automobile. So doing some good things at the Canadian Tire Mobile. And then side by side, Kunman, the points leader, who is going to be giving up some points here today because his compadres who are ahead of him, Adam Bossy, Terry Brooks, they are all the way up to the top of the pylon right now. And speaking of trying to change the order on the top of the pylon, here's Bossy. Thought it was going to be Baxter, but it's Bossy going for the lead.
I mean, we saw this in Bristol as well, where just Adam Bossi has really good pace, especially towards the midway part of a stint. We saw it last week, and we're seeing history kind of repeat itself here, as he is probably as close as anybody has been to Terry Brooks since we started this race. I mean, he is putting a lot of pressure onto the Culture Design Chevrolet. He is, I mean, Terry Brooks has led the entire race here so far, so he's been still having a fantastic race by any metric. But it's not going to be easy with the Twitch Mustang of Adam Bossi just in his rearview mirrors here.
Yep, and Adam Bossi, again, we know the speed that he has, especially on these short tracks, but now even at Iowa in that dirty air. Look at this. This is not a pace lap. This is the 6th, 7th through about 10th position right now. 2 by 2 by 2. You got Cunman and Corey. You got Brown and Freeman. You got Nerney and Herzog. Again, this is pace lap formation here on lap number 60. This is picturesque stuff right here.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird to see that when we're on full green flag conditions here, but it is really fun to watch as these 6 cars go around the track in 3 separate side-by-side groups here, as Alan Cunman's trying to go ahead and get the move done on to Al Corey. Dylan Freeman trying to get one. Actually, he had the move done to him by Caleb Brown. I mean, they're still in this pseudo pace car formation. Now it finally breaks up here at the front and in the rear, but the middle two of Dylan Freeman and Caleb Brown still going at it, as we have another battle for position here. It is Matt Harmon and James Honeycutt going at it. And once again, we're now back to seeing this pace car type formation, at least for a little bit, but this has been an interesting race here so far at Iowa. We're just seeing a lot of things that you don't see super often.
And at 92, that's Nicholas Deal, I think it is. He was all the way up at the top, but he is 2 laps down. And up front, look at Bossy right to the rear deck lid of Terry Brooks. And I know someone's going to say in chat, look what they can do in Discord. Look what these ARCA cars can do that the next gens can't. They're not as aero sensitive. Next gens can't get this close, but that's a topic for a podcast, such as Hatchet's Detrimental or Dirty Mo Download, but doing great right now. Look at the 23 running high. That gave the 83 some good clean air through 3 and 4, and that got him even closer.
I mean, this has been a fantastic run here from Adam Bossi. I mean, he's had a really good race here today as Al Corey exits. It appears he's just exited the pits. So once again, traffic might be a factor in this race. Terry Brooks could use that to his advantage here. Or no, he's actually just about a lap down, I'd say. But interesting stuff. I mean, once again, a lapped car is causing a little bit of a hiccup between this battle of Terry Brooks and Adam Bossi here, as we're on lap number 64 out of 135 here.
Yeah, but that's just a little bit of dirty air on the nose of Terry Brooks, and really, he hasn't had any dirty air on the nose of that car all race long. He's been up front with very minimal, if any, lap traffic. But we are at, well, Patrick, you're a teacher, right? What's 135 divided by 2? 68? 69? So we are just about at halfway.
Around that ballpark, yeah. But yeah, just about halfway, like you said. I think... Actually, yeah, we're over halfway now at this stage, I would now you're getting me thinking.
So 70 times 2 is 140, so yeah, 67 and a half.
Yeah, we can go with those numbers, but what we do know for a fact, despite our potentially questionable math skills, is we know that Adam Bossi is closing in ever so slightly to Terry Brooks, but Terry Brooks, once again, isn't really giving him much wiggle room to really try to get a move done here. He's putting his car in a good position defensively and just not letting him pass here at all.
Yeah, that's what you do. I mean, they say in the real world, who is the person who does this the best in the real world? It's Joey Logano. Not quite the same number, 22 to 23, but a driver who knows how to play defense here. Someone who needs to play defense, that's going to be Cunman. Excuse me, not Cunman, that's going to be Honeycutt, because Brad Kress in his number 9 Flow Racing Mustang looking to the inside of the racetrack here. trying to make something happen there side by side. I'm keeping an eye on the gap up front too, and Crest nearly got into him on the entry of 3 there. I think he'll clear on exit. No. Honeycutt has enough momentum off the top.
He's trying to cut Brad Crest out of that P4 position, but once again, that Flow Sport number 9 Mustang is just in a good state right now. He is still ahead of James Honeycutt despite the attempts. I mean, they are good attempts here. But look at this. Here's an attempted pass for the lead of this race as Adam Bossy does get around the inside of Terry Brooks. And for the first time in the Culture Designs of 135 here at Iowa Speedway, we have a change in the lead.
And you know what I would do right now? And he's not going to do it, but there's an old racing strategy where as soon as you get past, if you're in a window, you pit that lap. And it just throws the guy off. At this point, you know, we're past halfway. They have maybe 15 laps to their pit stop. We got Donald Risteau in the pits of the Coca-Cola car. So the pit stops can happen any lap. We got about a 15-lap window before they absolutely have to pit. And let's just get a little refresher on our drop-off time right now. We have Bossy's best lap. This is interesting. His best lap is only 4/10 off. But then you have Terry Brooks, who his best lap is 2/10 faster. So he's actually had about an 8/10 drop-off.
Yeah, I mean, oh, here we go. Now we're starting to see
Freeman.
some pit stops.
So that just goes to show that Adam Bossy, his best lap being 3/10 slower than Terry Brooks' best lap, he didn't come out of the gate firing. He was, you know, kind of more the tortoise and the hare approach. He was more of the tortoise, and perhaps Terry Brooks more of the hare there, and had the faster lap. You could see the back end of the run paying for it a little bit.
Yeah, he might have chewed through those tires just a bit too early, like we mentioned earlier in a battle for P2 earlier. But once again, we're seeing these drivers go ahead, and it is a tight pack here from P6 all the way down. Actually, from P5 all the way down to about P10, I would say, is in a pretty close battle here. Matt Harmon is going ahead and looking at the back of Mark Herzog here. Oh, the number 8 or the number 57 Toyota scrapes against the wall ever so slightly. You can see the sparks flying off of that in-and-out Toyota as they go ahead and make their way through. I'm surprised that action didn't slow them down more, but dicey racing here. The number 3 and the number 76 going side by side. You can barely put an in-and-out burger in between those two cars as they make their way through, and it looks like Honeycutt's got the momentum. He'll retake that position here. He'll retake P5 momentarily before Alan Kudman's going to give it another shot up the inside.
Yeah, there, Alan Kudman to the outside. Here comes Herzog to the inside, and Brown, Harmon, not Brown. Brown's a little further back. Harmon just trying to figure out what lane's going to persevere as that outside lane seeming to struggle at present. Let's go back and just kind of show some drivers. We haven't shown Adam Shaw, 1 lap down. Al Corey, he is in the pits. John Creedler, 19th, guys, we haven't had on camera here today. Cameron Kane with the Gulf car, which is a Formula 1 car that I don't know because I don't know F1 history enough, but you may know there, Patrick. Jack Filer. Piler? Yeah, something like that. Plyler, Zach Plyler.
The teams I know that run that kind of Golf livery in the past is McLaren did it in 2021, I want to say, and Williams did it, I think, as recent as 2023, maybe 2024 as well. But yeah, the Golf livery is an iconic livery in motorsports in general, not just Formula 1. Some classic endurance racing cars have had that livery, and now we're seeing an ARCA car with it. And honestly, that light blue and orange is just such a classic color combination. I mean, you could put that thing on the most rusted out car you've ever seen in your life and it'll still look good.
Yeah, exactly that. Some cars just look good no matter what. We got Honeycutt in the pits. We had Brad Crest in the pits. This is lap number 80. And again, depending on who you are, each lap that you have on the track, comparative to a guy who's pit, you're losing at least half of a second. So some of these drivers may be in advantageous positions. Here's Caleb Brown and Jack Plyler there in that Golf car we were just talking about. There was just a driver going a lap down. That is Naj, John Crutchley there in the number 48. I think we haven't done through the field, but I think I got basically everyone covered here at some point or another. Creedler in the 99. Mark Gerald, the Cinnabon ride. Now this is probably, and I'm going to knock on my IKEA desk here, not wood. This is probably the cleanest run I think Gerald's had in quite a few races, as we do have Terry Brooks in the pits.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, yeah, the Cinnabon car has been having a pretty quiet but a pretty solid run nevertheless, and sometimes those quiet runs where nothing is really happening are probably some of the best runs that you'll see. You'll just kind of fly under the radar, not get involved in any incidents, and ultimately have a clean race, and you can get some pretty good points off of that, as we see a lot of the cars coming into the pits, including the prior race winner of Adam Bossi and the prior race leader of Adam Bossi into the pits now, as Alan Kudman will go ahead and inherit the race lead for now. But will he keep that lead? Probably not likely, because I think he still needs to make his pit stop, but I mean, who knows? We have seen crazier things happen.
Now this is going to be the interesting thing. I think it was about maybe 2 laps, Bossi to Brooks. Now Brooks is at start finish right now. Let's look for that Twitch Mustang. Where is it on the racetrack? And is it actually ahead of him? It is. How did that happen? I'll tell you how that happened, Patrick. Let's take a look here at some information. Terry Brooks, 14-second pit stop. Adam Bossi, 11-second pit stop. So perhaps just taking less. I don't know how quick the tires get changed. That's actually very interesting, because there's no way an ARCA car could pit faster than an X-Gen. So did he take 2 tires and some extra fuel? I don't understand how his lap, but we'll just have to make some sense out of it. I think we saw the left sides go up, but yeah, I don't understand how his pit stop was 2 seconds faster, but either way, it worked in his favor. I thought he was going to lose the lead, but not the case. He preserved it.
Indeed. We're seeing quite a few gaps forming here just throughout, as other drivers are still making their pit stops here, as we ride on board with the number 57 Toyota of Mark Herzog here, as we are on lap 87 out of 135 here so far, caution free, which is probably a commentator's curse waiting to happen, but so far it has been a very strong race here. 49 laps left to go, as Justin Baxter does have the fastest lap of the race here so far, but can he keep that fastest lap? We'll just have to wait and see.
Right, here's Nerdy in the pits, Herzog in the pits. The lighting here, this is not a my computer thing. The lighting here on iRacing in the pits is a little sus. Just, I don't even know. Just not ideal, so that's why some of the cameras, it doesn't look that great. But we have Gerald in the pits. And now we go back to where we were, and it's a 2-second gap, and the lap times, we'll pull those up on the ticker once more for you. They're running equal time, so maybe, I mean, if he wins the race or he finishes top 3, we'll have to ask him, what did he do to make that pit stop so fast? Because I have never seen a 4-tire pit stop in any iRacing stock car in less than 13.5. So to do that in 12, or maybe he took 2 tires. I didn't check that in that level of detail, but whatever happened, it got him a lead, and he's doing things with it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. If he does manage to pull off the race win here, we could definitely ask him about that in the interviews, but it's interesting because once again, I mean,
we'll just look at this, Patrick. While you're talking, I'll pull up these graphics for multiple drivers. Just look at the times: 11.9, 14.1,
14.1 again.
Let's do a couple more, just to show you guys at home that we're not just going crazy. Harmon 10.9. That is inducive to me of 2 tires. 14. So on and so forth. We won't go too far down the list, but 14 seconds is the normality. So if 2 tires was taken, hell, 2 tires work pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the really interesting things in stock car racing that you don't really see in other forms of motorsport is that sometimes pit stops really do just swap out 2 tires and then you're pretty much just good to go. I mean, typically in like your Formula 1s and your World Endurance Championship, usually they'll swap out all 4 tires at the same time. In Formula 1, I think it is actually a rule they have to swap out all 4 tires at the same time. So it's really interesting to see these 2 tire strategies in play here. And honestly, sometimes that extra time you save in the pits could work wonders for you on the track if those new tires you just got don't degrade super quickly, which around this track might be a bit of a questionable statement.
I know this may blow your mind there, Patrick, but there was actually some occasions in some forms of motorsports, even in NASCAR, where they would actually change rear tires only. Would you believe that? Certain tracks that could road courses. I know in the truck series way back in the day, there was a racetrack they literally they would jack up the rear of the truck and change 2 rear tires at a time. Not something that you see every day or see anymore, but things that happened in the past here. But we are down 40 laps to go. Everyone has made their pit stop. And while that's going on here, we're just going to step aside for a brief moment just to recoup ourselves and get ready for the end of this race. So just stay tuned with us for about a 60-second break. And we're back here on PTR TV for the Triple Bypass ARCA Series, Cultured Designs 135 at the Iowa Speedway. I didn't have time to update the logo. Cultured Designs is the race. It's more than 85 laps though. But again, myself, Corey Silva in the booth, and then in the truck, Patrick Coleman here to help me with the calls here. We've had a race that has gone clean and green. There's been a few whiskers of incidents here today, namely the number 18 car, Matthew Epting, who is basically out of the race. But other than that, these guys have had some fabulous racing here today at Iowa. And again, Barney the flagman has had a very easy job.
I mean, he's also got the best seat in the house too. I mean, especially when he doesn't have to constantly wave those yellow flags, which, I mean, even in Bristol, we didn't really see a ton of yellow flags like we have seen in previous triple bypass races. But, I mean, this race has gotten 102 laps so far. Full green, no caution, and we've actually seen some really close racing here. So, I mean, you have a few drivers obviously just trying to be careful and trying to bring it home here. But, I mean, we've seen some pretty optimistic attempts for moves here. We might see another one here from Al Corey as he tries to go ahead and get past the car just up ahead, which I believe that is Zachary Nerney, I think, just up the road. It is Zachary Nerney.
Nerney is 2 laps down. Can't entirely tell you why. He did pit about 13 laps ago. Just as another reminder as well, that is what you see on screen right now is the timing of pit stops. And a couple drivers there. Al Corey, he pitted super early So he did actually get to the front of the field for a brief moment. I think he may have led a lap. Did he lead a lap? Let's cue the duck. That's not Al Corey. He just got passed. No, Al didn't lead a lap, but he was up higher in the field for a while. But again, he has significantly older tires, and the thing with how this race will flow and how the series is set up, Patrick, is even if a caution comes out, there's no saving Al Corey now. He just has old tires, and he just has to deal with that, deal with the bet he's made.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, every choice you make is going to have some kind of consequence. Whether it's good or bad will always remain to be seen, but he doesn't have another set of tires that he can go to. So, like I said earlier, if a caution comes out, then he's just kind of stuck. But if he's got his defenses up pretty nicely, then, I mean, even if somebody behind him has better tires, he could defend that position. Although, granted, that would be a very tricky task for him, just because he is on those much older tires.
Now, earlier in the race, I had said that something may have happened and my cameras weren't allowing me, but we're going to go back and check. I have a trigger saying that something happened in the race earlier. Nope, still doesn't work. I was just trying to see here in the background if anything, our overlay software basically says when people have crashed. It tries to detect when people have crashed. So I was just going back and trying to see if anybody did, but as you can see, it's just a blank space, not quoting Taylor Swift there at all. But stuff on screen right now, Adam Bossy leading by 2.6 seconds, and he is going through a little bit of traffic. That's Cam Kane. He's gotten by Benson. He has gotten by Herzog, and not sure what happened to Herzog, because he was up there in that pack with the rest of them, and now he is significantly further back.
Yeah, he's down in the 14th, which is not exactly the position he wants to be in, as he's trying to go ahead and try to get past here. But I mean, he's trying to get past Jason Benson, but once again, just doesn't seem to have the pace on this stint.
Something happened to him here. Look at his pit lane, 57 seconds, and we'll just relate that to, let's say, Caleb Brown, 43 seconds. So he was in the pits for 14 seconds longer. That doesn't scream to be penalty, because if it was a penalty, it would have been added to his pit stop time. So not entirely sure why he was in the pits for that much longer, but obviously that is what put him a lap down here, as closing in, not quite there, but closing in on 20 laps to go here in the Culture Designs 135.
Indeed, yeah, we'll see how this one does play out. I mean, once again, there's still a good amount of racing left to go here, so anything could happen. But I mean, right now, Adam Bossy does have a fantastic lead here, as we see another pretty solid battle here, as it is the number 92 car trying to get a move done here, but once again, just not able to get it done here. Maybe he needs to put a little bit of extra monster in his gas tank. This is Donald Ristow trying to get a move done on to Nicholas Deal. Actually, no, that's the other way around. Nicholas Deal trying to go ahead and get a move done to try to claim that last spot in the top 10. He's going to go ahead and give it a go here. He is, I mean, both cars essentially owned by the same parent company, as we have Zachary Nerney back in the pits.
Yeah, something happened where his race did not end the way he would like here, as we come to 20 laps to go here in a brief moment. The lead is right around 2 seconds here, as Bossy in that lap traffic here at the Iowa Speedway. And if you like what you see here, you can stay tuned for next week's race, where you can head to triplebypassracing.com. You can always get yourself signed up here for this league. Again, I want to shout out Terry Brooks. The number 23 led a bunch of laps, but has fallen back to second. But today he is our race sponsor, and essentially the series sponsor for that matter, here in ARCA. But our next race, we will be staying, well, we'll be heading further out west to the Phoenix Raceway, and we'll be heading there at night. Actually, we won't be covering it. That race will be covered on the Virtual Grip Network, so you'll have to stay tuned to Triple Bypass socials for that link. Next 2 races will be over there. Kind of relate that to like a Fox and NBC thing, I suppose. Our next race will be at the Kern County Raceway, and that'll be on October 14th. So the ARCA schedule can keep track of that there. I've never covered a race at Kern. That's a track that is, I think, about roughly half a mile right in Kevin. I think it's named by Kevin Harvick, as a matter of fact. Fun little short track.
Yeah, I mean, I've never done a race there either, so it'll be a bit of a fun experience for the both of us. But I mean, it'll be interesting to see how the race goes. Should be a fun one, just like we're seeing a very fun battle here between Caleb Brown and Matt Harmon. This is for P6 on the track with 17 laps to go here at Iowa Speedway. It's pretty much going to be make or break time soon for these drivers here tonight.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, there's still battles to be had, and that's kind of the cool thing. Not trying to create drama up front, but Terry Brooks is running a skosh faster. And I say a skosh, I mean a skosh. That gap is down to 1.7 as some wall contact there, I think, from Benson just ahead of Brooks. But it seems as though Adam Bossy cannot get by Mark Herzog, and that's just putting that dirty air on the nose of that Twitch Mustang. But he still has enough of a lead to where he doesn't need to force the issue or do anything crazy. He can afford to kind of stay put there as long as Brooks kind of stays within at least a second or so.
Indeed, and another thing that we gotta point out is that earlier on, a few laps ago, as we may see a move here, the Polaroid car is going to get a mighty fine picture of Matt Harmon with how close he is. And we'll see if he can go ahead and get the move done and dusted. It looks like Caleb Brown is going to go ahead and try to fire around the outside. But once again, on that grippier line, Matt Harmon is going to keep the position. But once again, also, this is another battle that has just been trading blows back and forth consistently, because at one point you have Caleb Brown going around the outside and holding the position, and then Matt Harmon just retakes it on the inside, and it just goes back and forth. We'll have to see who can stick it out in the end, though.
The 17 all the way out there in that gray stuff, but maintained a fair amount of grip through it, barely scrapes the concrete. I think he'll actually have enough to clear. Will he be able to cut down and chop the nose off of the 28? No, but he should be able to clear off a 2 with that momentum that he avails, and he will indeed do so. Will he go back to the bottom of the racetrack? He will stay right there in the middle, again kind of straddling on that banking seam, which that's something that a lot of times does happen on ovals with progressive banking there, Patrick. When you have multiple lanes of banking, sometimes straddling right on one of those seams of banking, it's actually a good way to free up the car.
It is. And I mean, we can see some of these drivers trying to use it to their advantage, but sometimes it can also equally go just as wrong. As we see here, that is not Al Corey, that is a very similar color scheme, but that is the number 25 going ahead and just kind of putting Adam Bossy in a bit of a lap traffic sandwich here as he goes ahead and tries to build a bit of a stronger gap to Terry Brooks. I've been keeping an eye on that gap between himself and the number 23, and it's been pretty much consistently ebbing and flowing here. Not much progress is really being made on the side of Terry Brooks, as Herzog is going to go ahead and keep the race leader behind, and that could back him up into Terry Brooks. But just looking at the timing table, it doesn't look like that's the case here tonight.
And you might ask yourself, why is Herzog trying so hard? And you never know if a caution's going to come out, and it's always better to be on the lead lap than it is to be the free pass car. The free pass car, actually I guess it really at this point doesn't matter because nobody can pit, but traditionally when you're the free pass car, you start at the tail end of the longest line versus where you actually would be positionally. So it's better to be on the lead lap. I do imagine that he will give suit eventually, but as soon as we thought Brooks may have been gaining a little bit, he has been losing back to about 1.7 seconds, and Herzog left the door open for Bossy to the inside, but still no position change to be had.
Yeah, still not one yet, but I mean, Terry Brooks isn't really getting closer either. So right now, this is once again pretty much Adam Boss's race to lose here. I mean, he's going to go back-to-back potentially here tonight. And we'll see, he's got the inside line. He's going to try to get past Herzog. I think Herzog got a bit of a tap of the wall there. But still, once again, not enough opportunity for Adam Bossi to really send this one on through. But even then, even on top of that, he doesn't really want to send it through because he doesn't want to end his race when he's in such an advantageous position here.
I'm going back to last week. For me to remember a driver interview is almost unheard of, but I vaguely remember Adam Bossi saying that he doesn't even know what he has, very little practice here, and we'll have to ask him if that confidence level is true or not. But either way, doing a great job here and trying to go back to back and gain some points there on Kunman, who's gotten himself up to 5th, so doing a good job there, but obviously 5th ain't first. Brad Kress, very quiet day for him as someone who excels on the short tracks. Brad Kress up to 3rd as Terry Brooks got it to a 2.5 seconds. That's not going to cut it. We're coming to 2 laps to go. If we can get to the white, remember, we'll finish it under green.
Indeed. So we'll see. It is 2 to go here, and we're going to see if Adam Bossi can continue. That gap has shrunk a bit, though, so Terry Brooks is catching here, but once again, just not by enough. He really needs to catch pretty much. Like, he probably can't even catch up based on regular race pace. He just needs Adam Bossi to get taken out here, as we are soon about to hit the white flag here at Iowa Speedway.
Adam Bossi got that win last week on a pit strategy call and drove himself through the field. Got that win by about half of a car length today. Did it on pure speed, got the race lead around halfway, and then never looked back. Phenomenal pit stop, got the lead, and now he'll drive it into victory lane for 2 consecutive weeks. Adam Bossi wins here at Iowa.
A fantastic job there from Adam Bossi as Terry Brooks, the race sponsor. He's been pretty competitive all race. He just finishes 1.2 seconds behind, and that is a podium for this week's sponsor. A fantastic drive from him, as well as Adam Bossi, with Justin Baxter rounding out the podium. But man, what a race we've had tonight in Iowa.
And a great race, caution-free race as the fireworks go off there in turns 3 and 4, and Twitch Mustang getting acclimated to being in victory circle. We'll see if he burns it on down here, does a Polish victory lap, whatever his celebratory activity chooses to be. He's just gonna do a little celebration past that Hy-Vee suite. Mind you, that wasn't actually there this time because Hy-Vee pulled their sponsorship. But that's a podcast topic. He looks like he'll do that Polish victory lap here, and while he does that, we will go down and give you the final rundown of results here today from the Iowa Speedway. Getting our race win, final margin of victory ended up being 1.2 seconds. Adam Bossi over our sponsor Terry Brooks. And then we have Justin Baxter in 3rd, Brad Kress in 4th, Alan Kunman getting a 5th, Caleb Brown, Matt Harmon, James Honeycutt, Al Corey the Boss Man gets a top 10, followed by Nicholas Steele in the 10th spot.
Jumping down to our next 10, it is Mark Herzog in P11, the last car on the lead lap, and then following through the rest of our top 20, it is Cameron Kane, Donna Ristow, Jason R. Benton, Jack Plyler, Mark Jarrell, John Crutchley, John Creedler, Tyler Rulis, and then Adam Shaw rounding out our top 20.
And then it's the last beta results, very short. Freeman in 21st. We have Nerney, not sure what happened to him, but 22nd. Epting and Coop 23rd, 24th, and then Hemperley didn't actually take any laps here today. But let's see who we have here to talk to. And we do have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Adam Bossi, back-to-back. Last week you had the pit strategy call go perfect for you. This week, we have to ask you, you had a masterful pit stop 2 seconds faster than anybody else. What was that secret sauce? That seems to have won you the race.
Put right side tires on it and don't worry about the left sides, because the left sides don't wear at a track like Iowa.
Well, there it is. We were wondering, but we didn't want to go back and dig through the replay and check, so that worked out. You were running laps. It seemed as though at the end I couldn't quite tell if Herzog was just holding you up or you were just being patient, but were you starting to lose anything towards the end as that gap trickled down?
You know, races like tonight are where I wish I had a crew chief or a spotter in the car talking to me and telling me that gap. Because I definitely was nervous riding behind Herzog that I was losing time to Terry, and Terry did a great job keeping me honest the whole time. But, you know, I didn't want to hold up Herzog. It seemed like he was faster than me, and I didn't want to make a mistake and, you know, compound it with Herzog being right behind me and just create an incident when we had a really good race overall. So probably just safer to let him go and then just ride around behind him. We kept pretty even pace.
Yeah, you did just that. So to pull off the, as they say in the bowling world, to pull off the turkey, you'll have to go at Phoenix and get her done next week under the lights. What's the confidence level in pulling that one off?
You know, my confidence level wasn't great for Iowa, and then I realized that I was the defending winner here at Iowa. But Phoenix actually is not one of my best racetracks at all. So we'll have to figure it out next week during the practice and see what I can pull out of the car, see if I can go for 3 in a row. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to just see how it runs.
Well, having a lack of confidence seems to be working, man. So I guess keep it up or keep it down. Depends how you want to look at it. But congrats on getting in Victory Circle. And we won't catch you in 2 weeks. That'll be on the other channel, but we'll catch you soon.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
And now Patrick will catch up with our race/series sponsor and our second place participant here on the evening in the form of Terry Brooks.
Terry Brooks, how are you doing today, buddy? I think you're muted.
Sorry, it's a push to talk channel. I said I hate made the wrong call on the tires. Adam taking 2 was definitely the advantage. Just with the needing so much fuel coming back, I thought 4 was going to be the better play.
Indeed, but I mean, you still had a really solid race here in the race that you sponsored. I mean, you never got lower than P2 throughout the entire race. So, how did you feel that your pace was here tonight at Iowa?
The first part of the run, I wasn't sure exactly where our pace was because the track was a lot hotter in practice. So trying to run long tire runs and look at your tire conservation, qualifying, picking up as much as we did. I was scared I was cooking it, and apparently I was. I kind of ran out of tire right before we got to the pit stop, and Adam just had saved just enough. And it's always hard to judge what pace you need to be, but I love Iowa. I love the new asphalt being down. It really makes the track fun because you kind of get a little free on the exit when you cross over to the older asphalt.
I have to add, you were the first person I have ever heard to say that. Not saying it's wrong, but you were the first person to hear us say that.
Yeah, I pick up on weird things, little bumps that adjust the car, and I make comments to teammates, and they're like, I don't feel that. And then 10 laps later, like, it is there. I'm like, yeah, it's just trying to pay attention to the little things sometimes can make up speed.
Indeed, it's always in those details that sometimes you can make up tenths or even full seconds on some laps. But it is going to be Iowa next week. How are you feeling around the deserts of Arizona?
Phoenix next week, Patrick.
Did I not say Phoenix?
You said we were at Iowa next week.
Oh, my bad. Phoenix. So we're heading to Arizona next week. How are you feeling around Phoenix?
I think Phoenix is going to be a really good show. I enjoy racing at Phoenix, and I mean, this group of guys here, it's really fun to race with them. I mean, to be able to go green flag for the whole event, that creates a lot of strategy and a lot of fun. And Phoenix has got a lot of opportunity to save tire, just kind of see how the race plays out. And as long as we don't have any hiccups trying to cut across the track, we should have a green flag race.
Awesome. Last question before we let you go for the night. Is there anyone you want to thank or shout out here tonight?
I'd just like to thank all the Triple Bypass guys for putting it on, y'all for doing the broadcast coming in. Once we were able to put together the sponsorship for the races that were remaining, and y'all do a great job, and just like to thank y'all very much, and Culture Designs.
I appreciate you, man. All right, well, we won't see you for the next 2 weeks, but good luck the next 2 weeks, and I think we'll see you at Kern County in middle of October.
And I love Kern, so I'm looking forward to y'all being back.
Absolutely, my friend. We'll see you. And then third, last but not least, I've got Mr. Justin Baxter. If I can manage to pull him in here. There we go. Justin, so third here on the day. I'll tell you, you shot out of a cannon and thought you were going to just walk away with the win here. You drove from fifth almost up to second there, but it seems as though the long run pace maybe fell off there. Was that the case, or did something go astray for you?
Yeah, that was the issue. I think I kind of was a little too aggressive at the start and didn't have much for him right there at the end.
Now, of course, this being one of those races where you all the pre-session practice done during the day, and then you have to go in at night. I know Adam had said even a little bit had to be tweaked there in the driver's seat. Was there any substantial difference or surprises you noticed from practicing in the day to having that race be under the lights?
Yeah, it's a little bit more tight compared to what you're used to in practice. As the run went on, you kind of pace yourself to get a little loose off the corners. It just drove in there. It just felt like I was shredding the tires during the race compared to practice. So something to learn from and hopefully get better.
No, well, you're doing a great job here this season. You just trying to look at your stats here. Haven't won a race here this season, but you've always been in contention. You've been up there. What's that little missing inkling you think you need to get that P1 trophy?
More than anything, just patience. When last season, I think I started mid-season, and I kind of just laid back and kind of got a feel for things. And this season, I told myself I'd be a little bit more aggressive, try to run up front, and it's just trying to balance the aggression and patience at the same time.
I know, easier said than done by far, but a solid, strong run here today, and good luck at Phoenix next week.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Well, that'll wrap up a show here today at Iowa. Obviously for myself, the beginning of it was a little rough around the edges, but we worked through it here production-wise with our computer issues that we had. And Patrick, a caution-free race at a pseudo short track, so that wasn't on my bingo card, but glad we saw it.
Indeed, it's a very pleasant surprise here at Iowa Speedway. And honestly, it's going to be a fun season. We've seen some hard racing here from these drivers, and I'm looking forward to Kern County because it's a track that neither one of us have done, and it should be a lot of fun.
All right, I'm going to take that back. I just remembered we did cover a short track race there on our e-car series about a year and a half ago, but it's not a track that I've covered too often, so happy to have it there. You'll catch the next two races of this league, of this ARCA series, on the Virtual Grip Network, so stay tuned to their socials for that, and we'll be back in 2 weeks' time, but we'll also be back tomorrow night. Patrick will be live with, what's his name? Brad. Wow. The other guy who owns the channel with me, I can't even remember his name, but Patrick will be live with Brad tomorrow night, Elbows Out Racing, and I'll be live at the next, Triple Bypass back on Sunday. I don't know where they're racing, but I'm covering it on Sunday night, and I need to take some memory pills. But that's going to be Corey and Patrick signing out of the booth. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.